So January is World Carnivore Month, really smart publicity stunt. And for those of you who are thinking about doing it, I just have a nice little cautionary tale. Know that I am not trying to be a hypocrite here because I have done it before. I did it for 3 months and I did it before this very photo shoot got me in great shape, and I actually found it was pretty easy to lose the weight. But there is something really important to pay attention to when it comes to overall health, not just weight loss. Don't just take it from me. Here are a few stories of how it's gone pretty wrong.
I've lost probably 100 pounds in the last 3 years on the carnivore diet, and I've been a big fan. And on Tuesday, I had a heart attack.
I'm quitting the carnivore diet. Been on the carnivore diet for 7 months. I've lost over 30 pounds. But what if I told you I had the highest cholesterol numbers that my cardiologist has ever seen? Under my eye, I have something called xanthelasma, kind of yellow dots that started forming underneath my eye. See those 2 dots right there? That's cholesterol buildup.
We look at Carnivore Cam. He's now borderline diabetic. Being at this level, we tend to see large rises in cardiovascular disease as a result. Hence why he has decided to re-include honey. But Cam's not the only one. Carnivore Ray is at a similar point. Though he's decided to start eating more fruit, such as kiwi. Eddie Boo has the fasting level of somebody who is a type 2 diabetic.
Now before we really dive into all the health stuff, let's dive into this hilarious idea.
Plants are trying to kill you.
Well, if they are trying to kill you, holy shit, they're losing the battle, because these are meta-analysis. These are studies upon studies upon studies. And they all show you very consistently you live longer, lower cardiovascular risk, like all the good stuff you want out of health. And here's what they don't like to look at when it comes to evidence is there's a very strong link with red meat in causing cancer. Now, I actually totally recognize that there is a problem with how we've accumulated a lot of the data on red meat, because there actually is some research that shows that we can have a minimal risk of cancer, but you know what you need? To consume fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Now, the benefits to weight loss are because it's a high protein diet, which you should have anyways. And then if you're going to have a lot of fat with that, and you don't have the option to have carbs, not to mention you're literally not eating any processed food, you're not going to crave food as much. But there is a problem with that fat. A diet in high saturated fat can lead to high LDL cholesterol. It has been very well documented that high LDL is very likely going to lead to atherosclerosis and plaque buildup, which can then lead to heart attacks. The carnivores will say, oh, it's just glycation of the LDL. They'll have so many excuses. But let's look at this hazard ratio for cardiovascular disease, which is a recent research article. And it's a fucking line as you have a higher LDL cholesterol. And they're going to say, oh, no, but there's healthy user bias. By the way, don't you think researchers know this? And they take the consideration of smoking, alcohol consumption, and exercise into the equation. And this is a paper about the European Atherosclerosis Society Consensus Panel, and they will come to say that low-density lipoprotein causes this issue. And if you don't believe them, just know what you're fucking gambling with, because people are making that same mistake right now, and they're regretting it.